Today we look at a figure that comes from a masterpiece film. However, this figure is the opposite of that. No. But we also get to look at this bike, which I've been holding on to for many, many months, and I got this from Nerd Urbanity. So if you're not following Nerd Urbanity on social media and like shopping at his store, you're missing out. But let's start this whole thing off. And why couldn't I have just opened this thing up prior? I could have opened it and enjoyed it, but no. We'll get to it, okay? Today is mainly for you about this, but also now for me about that. I'm more excited about that maybe than this figure. Let's get into it. Where did I get this? Well, I got it from 5K Toys. Now, I don't know if this is gonna be available anymore. Also, is this a licensed, officially licensed thing? Because it looks like it based on the packaging, but I thought when I ordered it that it wasn't. But maybe it is. Doesn't matter because we have it regardless. Nice art card here, which is just a... What are you gonna do with that? I don't know. Whatever you want, I guess. Frame it. Another nice little art card with a very famous, iconic scene. Now let's move on. Lovely foam packaging. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Very dark on the camera, but that's okay. I can take it all out and we can look at it better than that. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. It's a great movie, considered maybe one of the best movies of all time. This is like when people say, oh, I don't watch anime, you're like, but like, Akira is one of the most influential movies of all time. Not to mention, just the bike scene alone has been redone countless times. Now, when it comes to accessories, we don't have a lot, but we have soft goods, okay, which makes me happy, but also concerns me. Maybe he won't have the articulation that we need. But let's just take a deep dive into these accessories and see if I'm still as happy as I was when I ordered it. Up first, we've got this satchel thing. I don't remember this. I like it. It looks very nice with the application of everything. And then this strap, which would be, of course, adjustable. I mean, I'm already impressed. Just quick glance. This really makes me happy. Let's look at what else. We got a couple of additional wrist pegs, which is good to have. And I wish every brand would do that. We get this mask piece, which looks really, really good. I mean, check out the details there. Wow. The paintwork and sculpt really is fantastic. I mean, there's so much going on with that paint. We have these goggles, which again, look really good. I'm glad that there's at least somewhat clear. It definitely could be better. This like very frosted looking, but the work around the edges there, the paint is nice. And then this, of course, strap piece, which is elastic. We have this weapon, which is in two parts. So we have the top section here, which again, good paint. Love the addition of the stickers. And then the bottom part, which this hand should come off. I don't know why it's on there by default, just making it easier for you. Whatever. And then it just sticks together. There you go. We did it. Congratulations, everybody. It does look a little warped though, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure with a little bit of heat from like a hairdryer, we could probably fix that. This base looks really good. And I'm afraid that it's gonna be not wide enough for the bike to sit on it as well. But I love this like pavement and it's actually cracked. Like, check that out. Those are actual cracks. Fully sculpted and painted, looks really, really good. And then the bottom is like a soft foam thing, so it won't slide around and it won't scratch up whatever it's on. On by default, he's got these punching hands. Good old fashioned put your dukes up, boys, because we're going to Punchy Town. Is the red maybe a little dark compared to the jacket? I mean, it is dark compared to the jacket, but is that okay? Is that a problem? I don't know. The head that is on by default is very good, especially for something coming from an anime into this kind of realistic approach. This looks really good. It's almost terrifying how good that looks. I am very impressed. They've got a little bit of gloss on the eyeballs, so they look more realistic. The haircut looks really good. Man, that is nice. Let's take that off and put the alternate head on. Maybe. Oh no. I can't get the alternate head on. Maybe a little bit of heat will help, but the problem is this has shrunken over time. And that's where some brands will actually put like spacers in there to help prevent that from happening. but we can still look at it without putting it on. Here are the details, the little, look at the mouth. Can I zoom further? Can we do better? That is insane. It's almost terrifying how good that is, how realistic they've made that. I mean, it looks like there's real teeth in there. I'm a little scared. But beyond focusing on that, the paint is just stellar, man. Oh, God. So, yeah, one of the greatest films of all time, which happens to be an anime. I'm gonna have to heat up the joints on those wrists too, because they do not want to come out without separating or possibly breaking. So hopefully we can fix that. Ugh. The alternate hands in the box, look at that. The gripping hand, which will help support these things. This, I think. So a left and right of that. Maybe we can use some of these on the motorcycle, and then you get this thumbs up, which again looks fantastic. Great sculpt. The paint is stellar. All the little details, even that little metal piece, so well done. Let's look at the details of Kaneda. So we already looked at the face, we talked about that. Look at the jacket, this pleather. This is the kind of stuff that also you're going to be very delicate with, because, you know, it could easily start ripping and falling apart. But that's just like, you pay for a premium thing, same thing with Hot Toys, but you just got to be delicate with it, because that stuff can happen. And it does happen. Over time, this might even start deteriorating, but how long is that gonna take? I don't know. I mean, people buy pleather jackets and pants and wear those for years. The details of the stitch work, the shirt underneath, look at that, the collar and everything, this section that would be a zipper. Wow, this is such a good looking figure. I cannot believe it, with real metal pieces here. This is awesome, man. Look at that. Good for health, bad for education. This looks so good. My only complaint right now is that I spent a lot of time working on kerning. And kerning is the spacing between letters in a word. And I see this as heel, th, heel. So that could have been fixed. But that's a minor detail that probably doesn't bother as many people as it does me. The pants, again, looking fantastic. I don't know how they're able to do this at this scale. Boots look really good, and it looks like they're gonna be split in a way that will allow for articulation. So let's check out articulation. We have the head. Oh boy, I don't think there's gonna be much. So he can look down. I mean, the neck and everything is all one piece. Looks back, but I think that might just be because his head's coming off. There's definitely not a lot of range. And the more you mess with it, the more it kind of pulls off of that peg on the inside, which is just like a stump. So there basically is no articulation. Nothing moves. This stump doesn't move. This might be one of those figures that just stands there to look good. Yeesh. Arms, let's see what we can do there. I think, it just came out of its socket. So there's definitely not, there's like no range. Oh God. Oh God. Well, as I struggle to get this joint back in, at least you now know what it looks like on the inside. So this looks legit, but I'm also irritated with this arm. That was frustrating. Took a way more effort than I was hoping for. Anyway, yep, just came right out again. Well, we know that the joints exist and could technically articulate, but there's just so many limitations by the jacket and stuff, and then getting that back in is a real pain. So you want to be very delicate so that it doesn't happen. But whatever, the double jointed elbows are working, and then they are ball pegs for the wrist, as we can see, but we can't really get those off right now. The body articulation, probably the same thing. I don't know, it leans back really well. Just be afraid to pop these things apart. It doesn't really crunch, which may be a bit of an issue on that motorcycle, I'm not sure. And legs, because of the pants, definitely don't have that much range. They go forward pretty well, knees work great, and then the feet are okay, but definitely not as much as you would probably want. So this is definitely not that much of an action figure. It really is just a stand there figure. So like a really nicely posable, semi-posable statue. That's how I'd classify it. So irritated a bit. Gorgeous though. I mean, executed visually to perfection. This is the downside, of course, of doing soft goods, but as far as like joints and stuff, that's something else is a problem here to get these things to work. Now we get to finally look at the bike, which I am way more excited about. It's metal. This is a Tamashii Nation or just Bandai. These are pretty expensive now, so if this is something you're interested in, just expect to have like kind of a higher price tag, and I am sorry for that, okay? This is like, what was it? 2004 it says, made in China? Is it really that old? I mean, nobody does seem to really use metal stuff, especially Bandai. So this is back when things were really nice. There is an older Todd McFarlane one, I think, that you could also get. All right, here we have some instructions that tell us how to put these parts on because they are off by default, and it's completely in Japanese. So you could use a translation app, or you could just look at it and be like, oh, okay, I can see visual aids. We're about to drop the value of this thing drastically. I mean, at first glance, this thing is absolutely stunning. It's everything that I hoped it would be. Look at this. It's so nice, and it's very heavy because it's made of metal. Let's look at the dash, or whatever you would call that, on this kind of motorcycle of the future. Look at that. There's so much paintwork and decals. This is great. And it articulates, as of course, I mean, as it should. Really, really well done. And because it is an anime, I mean, it's an anime, but there's some realism to it, and especially with the figure being all like hyper realistic for an anime character, this is kind of meeting all of the needs to match that up. But I guess we're about to cover all these pieces up, so let's enjoy them now. Okay, did you enjoy them? And we have this little like kickstand essentially that goes right here, flips down. That's definitely gonna be nice and basically required. So these optional parts allow you to separate things and like still view the parts underneath, which is actually pretty smart. So if we don't want this solid piece, we can just do like this, and now we get a shot of the suspension, which is actually a really nice touch. And of course, you could just fully attach it if you like that breakup in the panel. You can also remove a lot more stuff and get even more view of the parts underneath. This is very intricate, man. This is kind of crazy. And then this piece, which has the headlight on it, we can actually flip out like that. So it's 2025, and there might actually be a better bike option out there, and one that has all the decals on it, at least the decals from this shot. I don't know, because the brown leather seats, plus he doesn't have the text on his jacket. I don't know. I don't know which one's the most accurate, but that's okay. Does it work on this space? Oh God, kind of. It's just a little long, but at the end of the day, I would definitely keep it there. Still works, especially if you put the kickstand down. You idiot. So the real question now is, can we get this guy to sit on this thing, or did I buy this bike that is made for a smaller scale figure, which is what I'm starting to think, and you probably need a McFarlane one. So the thing I'm most excited about might not work. And I guess the reason why they have this trigger finger on there by default is because if you even like barely touch it, it breaks off. There's like, look at the amount of plastic that was holding on at the top. That. And then these two pieces back here were just so incredibly brittle. It was absolutely no effort. Why does this always happen to me? I mean, I was just doing that because it seemed like a good option for the motorcycle, but I guess not. I mean, you know, like when I brought this thing out, somebody was probably like, oh, that's too small. Somebody knew it was too small. Now it looks like he's just got like a kid's toy. Ah, crap. So much for things being labeled 1/12 scale. I believe the bike is probably accurately 1/12 scale, but this guy's not. He's not. Why is it? It's so funny because I held onto this bike for so long because I pre-ordered this figure and I was like, oh, it's gonna be so great. He's 16 centimeters. He's just under 6.5 inches tall. He's too big for this. I need like the McFarlane one. So what's the problem with this figure? Well, I mean, it looks great. okay? The things that are wrong with it, I mentioned in the video. The other head doesn't go on. The hands are honestly a serious problem. Swapping them out is a huge issue. Even if you heat them up, some of the hands just don't even want to stay on anymore. They just fall right off, so it's not a heat issue. Obviously, the trigger finger that broke because it took no effort. And the thing is, they advertised that hand being separate from the weapon. So why did it break? And why was it on by default? Because they knew it would break, I guess. Ultimately, this is one of those figures that you just buy and you don't touch him and you just stick him on the shelf and vanilla pose, and that's it. The articulation is not great, and that's kind of expected for some thick leather stuff, but that shoulder joint popping out like every time you touch it is incredibly frustrating. The more poses I tried to do, even basic stuff, it just kept coming out. It's very irritating. On the plus side, the mask does just go right on. There's nothing really holding it there other than like the collar of his shirt and luck. And maybe the craziest thing is that he has magnets on the bottom of his feet. So I thought, well, maybe the base has like metal or magnets in it, and it doesn't. So he just has magnets. I mean, they're really strong, very nice magnets. But what's the point? Is this thing worth the money? Probably not. Honestly, and the more stuff I watch to remind myself of the film and its glory, this is not doing it. I mean, I'm okay with soft goods, but I'd rather have, I think, a little more anime-specific one versus this kind of realistic thing, which I thought I liked. But the more I look at the anime or pictures of the manga, the less I like this. And the bike that I was super excited about, which is not the figure's fault. Yeah, it should have stickers all over it. Why doesn't it? It's really weird. So the truth is, this is just going to have to work by itself because it might not even be 1/12. It might be smaller than that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review and you want to see some more stuff, click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.